Someone wanted to know about strict fast. When I say strict fast, what do I mean? Do I mean just eating nothing at all? No, that's a form of fast, though. That is. But remember, we don't fast like the hypocrites. The reason for our fast is to remember God and Christ and to meditate on that and set us apart a little bit from the world. This is apart from our daily routine. Each time when the hunger comes, we remember. But we should also, this helps us train for when the hunger isn't there. When it passes, we still remember. And a way to slowly come into this is, when I asked, how should I fast the first time? I believe this was even before I was a catechumen. Because I was used to just fasting from sun up to sundown. And then at sundown you eat a lot. And even then I believe Muslims were doing it wrong because they weren't taking water. And I said, I can't find this anywhere. Say not to drink water. This is, I just didn't see that. And, but with the Orthodox fast, I said, well, what should I do? And they said, it's my parish priest, and he said, Wednesday and Friday, don't eat meat. I said, what? Don't eat meat Wednesday and Friday? So I should have something harsh. He says, this is the rule I'm giving you. I'm not going to change it. So I said, all right. I said, well, could I pursue a strict fast? He says, you could, but that's not your fast. If you want to do it, do it. But your fast right now is Wednesday and Friday. Don't eat meat. I thought, this is so light, So I would do the strict fast, right? And I'd be like, oh, well, I can break it, I'd do it, I couldn't keep it up because I was, either I drank or I smoked or something like that. And I was just like, still struggling and stuff like that back in the day. And when I'd break it, I'd want to eat meat or something like that. And it would be on Wednesday or Friday all the time. So, boom. And I always irritated. I'm like, oh my God, how, I just wasn't thinking because I wasn't remembering my fast. I was just, just eating almost vegan-like, which is not the point. And I realized that it was kind of funny. It's kind of one of those things like, my God, did he know that was going to happen? I think it just seems so funny to me. But that's wisdom. Trust me, when you're given your fast restriction from your spiritual father, and you should always go and ask your spiritual father first, how should I fast? I'm new to this, how should I fast? And they'll give you your fasting rule. So for a rule, everybody's fasting. Even a pregnant woman, he said, give an economia, because economia is that's what the fast rule is about. Don't tell a woman who's like 9 months pregnant, don't fast. She's still fasting with the rest of the church, even if she has been granted economia. She's still fasting with the church. Perfectly fine. Infants, they're still with the church, although I don't know how much there is in baby food, like protein and meat and stuff like that, and how much. So it's, regardless, the church fasts. Even if you're not doing your fast correctly, you're still fasting with the church. Too bad, your fault. You're not getting any of the benefits out of it. Where were you when we were in this great thing going together? Oh, you were there with us, but you were your head in the clouds, kind of thing. Which is what I convict myself of the worst. I suck at fasting. I suck at praying. Now, I don't mean that as I just leave them by the wayside. No, of course not. And even those who say they are and aren't, their hypocrisy convicts them of their ridiculousness, and they feel pain of lament. That's almost a way of a fast, because they're not even by not even realizing it, because they feel the shame, and then they remember, that this isn't the way. So they're still remembering Christ, and that's what the fast is about. When you goes, oh, it's Wednesday, I don't do this. It's not about not eating food. It's not about, oh, I'm more hungry than everybody else, or look how gaunt I am. Christ said you're not to do. Don't make a show of your fast. It's to remember Christ, right? And even in the tones that we sing, the style of singing during Lent, it's a very more somber, dark kind of thing. I always well, this is really, because you go from like the Antiochian tones that are I think are the most beautiful within the Orthodox world, just my opinion. And then you go to this Gregory Dialogus, stuff almost. And it's like, wow. And you have the pre-sanctified liturgy that helps you with your fast. You have this every Wednesday. But when I say strict fast, I mean no eggs, no meat, no dairy, no wine, no oil, no fish. So yeah, it's almost like vegetables. But remember, wine and oil, people sometimes just exempt them on their own. Are they allowed to do that? Well, let's look at it. What was the reason behind saying no wine and no oil? It's because they were held in skins and leather skins. So you'd still be taking something from an animal, something from another living creature, right? So, and I know people who go out of their way like, oh, there might be a little butter in this, so they'll drive like 3 counties over to get like soy butter, and it's like, it's missing the point. It's picking at details. It's to be in the spirit of the fast. It's to be something that's bringing you closer to Christ, not legalistic things, nitpicking. So sometimes some person may have. I would just say keep the strictness of the fast. If you go out with Orthodox people to eat during a fasting period, keep the strictness of the fast when eating with them, because you don't want to tempt them. Don't make a show of your fast, and you can always break a fast if it's out of hospitality. I believe it was Callistos where was invited to a woman's house to because she wanted to learn about Orthodoxy. So he went there and she made him a cheeseburger. Now that's dairy and meat. He sat down at the table and he ate it, and then he explained the fasting rule. So, you should have said something. He goes, no, whenever something is given to you in hospitality, in love, you never say, oh, I'm too good, I can't, well, I'm in a fast, I can, It's not so you put yourself in situations to do that. But he was going over to her house. She barely knew him. He wasn't going to say, oh, you have to remember this, and, she's not Orthodox yet. And even if an Orthodox person forgets, if it's just out of hospitality, you don't really know them, you do that, and then maybe you don't say anything because they're not inquiring about the fast or about Orthodoxy. Again, that's not license, but that's hospitality. It's in love, and dealing with things in love, as Christ said. It's remembering the spirit of the law, and not just clinging to the letter to where you die in it. So you remember Christ in this. If you're told not to eat meat every day and just forget about the dairy and stuff like that, when you're not eating that, it's a remembrance of Christ. When you go stricter and stricter and stricter down to like dairy and stuff, and this is when you've been doing it, because entering in the church, we run the race as to win it. We don't go boom right to the strictness for everybody right at the beginning. That's not how Christianity. That's not how the church has worked ever. That's how let the heretics do this craziness. But it's but when you get into this, if you get into the rhythms, okay, Advent, the Dormition fast, the Lent, and you go through this. That's why we have a scaling down. There's Cheese Fair Friday, there's Meat Fair Friday, and then boom, we go into things. It's like going into a swimming pool for the first time when you're trying to get acclimated to it. You walk down, take steps. Go do a cannonball into somewhere in like a lake, you get hit in the head with a rock. You don't do that. So keeping the fast is good, but we walk down into it. And for those of us in Orthodoxy that have to follow the strictness of the fast, when you look at a new convert, when he takes on a fast, even if it's don't eat meat for Wednesday or Friday, that's the more joyous fast. He's coming in, he's just learning it. So he's keeping the same fast. Everybody's keeping the same fast, no matter what your fast rule is. But go and inquire of your fast rule, and if they just say you don't have to fast, this and that. Yes, Father. Thank you, Father. Yes, Vladika. Thank you, Vladika. Just don't argue like I did. Please, Stephen. God save Serbia, Syria, and Ireland. You go up and ask, and this is for anybody who's going to an Orthodox church who is not a catechumen or chrismated or baptized or who's not in the church officially. say that I'm new. I'm not Orthodox. I'm looking into the church. What should my should can I fast with you people? How can I you know because it's the thing, we fast together. The fast is us together, not solitary. We're all the church fasting is one. That's the beauty of it. And then you get to break that on Pascha. Boom, come into the glory of what is Pascha. It's beautiful, all the wine and all the meat, everything. It's great. There's nothing like just after midnight service on Pascha. Which was my disappointment at the cathedral, because I'm used to this great, I'm like, and it just, well, I can go into that. I don't want to discourage anything, but yeah, when you're at your own parish, a good parish preparations after, service on Pascha, lights gonna fire, and it's just Pascha is a great thing. It's the most beautiful thing after Lent. It's the most beautiful thing ever. It's like Christmas. It's like how it was when I was younger, secular Christmas stuff that's like that. Now as an adult, I get Christmas back in Pascha. It's that with the holiness of the resurrection, and it's just great. Beautiful time. Everybody's up. You're coming out of fasting. You have some wine. Everybody has too much wine, as they should. As they should. And meat. It's just, oh man. Some people are kind of like, oh my gosh, I kind of can't eat this because I haven't eaten it for so long. It's kind of like a shock to the system. Probably a little bit bad for the health, but wonderful for the soul. Probably adds years to your life just for that, just for the happiness that's at Pascha and all the good times. So your fast is heading towards something, and it's an analogy for this world that we're away from God in a way, but we can meet Him through the liturgy that He's given us, the mysteries that He's given us, baptism, the Eucharist, and in the community that He's given us, that He is identified as Himself without really any separation. Paul, why art thou or Saul, why art thou persecuting me? And to be called the bride, and all these beautiful things. So I hope that answers the question. Peace to you. May God save Serbia, Syria, and Ireland.